And hello and welcome to another exterior video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. And on today's video I'm gonna be doing a small upgrade, but much needed upgrade, at least for me. And what I'm gonna be upgrading, I'm gonna be working on replacing my speakers in the truck. The original speakers, they don't sound great at all. I know it's maybe not a necessary upgrade, but since it's my daily, since I drive on it as well, besides off-roading whenever I have a chance, I do drive to places and I like to listen to music. But the current speakers, they really sound bad. So I'm gonna try to include a couple of clips of the sound quality, and then we're gonna compare to the new speakers. So now I'm gonna try to play a sample. I'm gonna try to record what's the decibels it catches. Now it's 15. Alright, so I tested at level 10, 15 and 20. So that's how it sounds so far. But now let me show you guys what I actually got, and I'm gonna start working on replacing the speakers. And this is the setup, guys, I got front and rear speakers. I got wiring connection over here so we don't have to cut our original cables. We also need these brackets for the rear so we can mount the rear speakers, because the way the original mounted, we're gonna need brackets. And on top of that, I also went ahead and I got actually speakers at the dash, these small speakers. I don't know if they're gonna fit or not, we're gonna find out soon. But after doing a little bit of research, looking at different speakers, you can spend up to $1,000 on speakers and a sound system, but I wanted to keep it more at the budget, and this seems to be like a good setup. And funny enough, they have a Nissan over here. So I guess that's for our budget trucks. But anyways, this is our front speakers, this is our rear speakers, and this is the speakers for the dash. It's a little bit windy today, stuff is flying around, so I'm trying to get it all done without losing the stuff. But let me just open this up and let's just take a look at the speakers, if I can pull them out. These speakers actually comes with the wires as well, but I don't want to cut the ends, so yeah. So now I'm gonna work on the side panels, gonna start removing the side panels. With a pry tool, we just have to remove this, unplug the connection here. We have to carefully remove this without breaking this. And if I'm not mistaken, we gotta remove this part. Then there's gonna be a couple of bolts. We remove the bolts and we can lift up the whole panel out. So carefully with a pry tool, we have to remove this. So I'm actually might have to abandon the project for today because we had a little bit of a windstorm, there is some trees falling, and of course today the people are coming to cut the trees. So please don't mind the noise over there, the people screaming or whatnot. So we have to remove this piece over here, this piece over here, and carefully this one. So I'm gonna start actually with this one, and like I said, it has to try to be careful, but I know it's all plastic, it's all brittle, it might break, but hopefully not. Just try to use a pry tool, your fingers, and carefully try to pry it out. Alright, and this piece is out. So now let's try to remove this piece. Alright, this piece is out. Alright. There's a little bit of force. This is coming out. Now we just have to unplug this cable. Alright. So now we have this screw and this screw to take out, which are 10 millimeters. Now we're gonna carefully remove this as well. At least we're gonna try to carefully remove this. but this has to come out regardless. Okay, and this is out, just has to pull it. So we here have one more bolt holding it, so let's take it out. So now over here we have a bunch of clips all the way around. So I'm gonna start with the pry tool, trying to take them out. Just have to little by little try to loosen them all up. All right, and now we can lift up the whole thing up carefully. All right, and it's out. And there we go, guys. Here's our speaker, our original speaker. Look, so let's unbolt this 8mm. And let's pull it out. There we go. Nice. So let's unplug the connector. All right, and let's put this on the side. Back door, we have pretty much the same procedure. We have to remove this piece, and these two pieces. We're gonna have bolts over here holding it, then we can pry it out and take it out. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna look at the speaker, how exactly we're gonna mount the speaker.
A few moments later.
And exactly the same way this panel pops out, and then you just lift it up. And this is our rear speaker. This is gonna be a slightly different setup. We have to unscrew the whole bracket over here. This is 10mm. So for now we can remove the cable, and let's unscrew this. And let's pull this out as well, gently. Now also, since I'm doing all the speakers, as a bonus I'm gonna try to replace these speakers, but like I said, I'm not sure if they're gonna fit in here, but let's find out. So once again, with the pry tool, this cover just supposedly just comes out, but that will be too much to ask. All right, it's out, and it actually has a little rubber band, so in case it comes flying, it's not gonna fly far. So now I'm gonna remove these two bolts, which looks like 6mm. They're actually 7mm, and I hope, guys, that the sun reflection is not too bad. But I apologize in advance. All right, guys, let's look at our speakers. So this is our old front speakers. As you can see, they're only 20 watts supposedly, and this is gonna be our brand new speakers. I'm actually not gonna put the grill, I don't think we need it inside, but this is our new speakers. They're much heavier, and this is a 3-way speaker with a 4 ohm, so this should be much better. This is a rear speaker, like I was saying. The whole plastic came out. That's why we need these brackets, which I'm gonna use in a minute. And this is the speakers that we have at the dash at the front, and this is the new ones gonna go in there. And this is the new ones that gonna go in there. Unfortunately, the plug in here is different from what I saw before in the videos and what I read online. So I probably not gonna be able to install these ones today, even though they come with its own pigtail. But I need this plug to put at this end, so I can simply plug it into my port over there. But we'll see, maybe I'll do something. And of course, this is our rear speakers. Once again, I'm not gonna put the grill, I don't think we need it inside. Just by weight, they're much heavier, so they should be much better. So now I'm gonna work on the front, putting the new ones in. So with the pigtails that I picked up, they only go one way in. There is a small plug over here, so that's where it's gonna connect this one and the big one. Okay, now I'm gonna connect this plug into here. Okay, let's push the wires inside and let's mount the speaker in place. Okay, the front speaker is installed. Now I'm gonna install the rear speaker, and this is assembled. I use the screws that came with the speaker, so I just screw it in here. Seems to be sits in place good. Now once again gonna connect this wiring harness. Okay, and the rear speaker is installed as well. Now over here I made a little notch for the wire because the plug is on the outside, not on the inside, so it's slightly different design. I don't know why as well, but this should be fine anyways. So now I'm gonna repeat the procedure on the other side and assemble everything back together. Hey guys, all the door speakers are installed, so we can put our panels back, and that's extremely easy. We just slide it up so this part goes on the door. Make sure you don't lose the wires. All right, and now we can just simply tap it to snap it in place. Don't forget to screw the bolts in, just don't drop them inside, because then you have to take everything apart. And let's snap all the plastic in place. Make sure you don't forget to connect the wires. And the last piece. Alright, and gonna do the same for everything. And just look at the difference of these speakers, guys. This is what I have right now installed in the dash, those little speakers. I don't know, they're really little. And this is the new ones. Hopefully they're gonna sound much better, but they sure do look much better. So now what I'm gonna do, because for some reason these type of speakers, I think they come on the Pathfinders and the Xteras and Frontiers and some other trucks, they're different. There was supposed to be a connector with the leads that you can cut off and reuse it. That way you can simply plug it in here, which in my case it's not the case. So what I'm gonna do, I have no choice. I'm actually just gonna cut this connector and splice these wires directly into the wire of the dash. Just gonna figure out which polarity is which. Unfortunately, that's what I have to do, but it's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna reuse this type of connector anyway, so I'm gonna use the different speakers. So as you can see, guys, I just spliced the wire directly into the wire of the speaker. I already pre-tested it and it's working. So now I'm gonna do the same thing over there. Then I'm gonna get the different bolts. I'm not gonna reuse these ones because it's hard to screw them in there. I'm gonna use the ones with a Phillips head because I have a 90-degree Phillips ratchet, so I can use that over there easy. Alright, and the new speaker is in place, and as you can see, I replaced the bolts with the Phillips head because I have this little ratchet and it really helps.
2,000 years later.
And welcome back, guys. It's actually been quite a few months since I did the installation of the speakers. A lot of it has changed since then. There's a brand new house my neighbors built. So it's been quite some time. The installation took place in the beginning of the year, and now we're almost at the end of a year. But that's no big deal. That's actually all good because I got to use the speakers and I got to experience them for quite some time now. So that gave me a lot more experience of using them, and I have a better feel of them and a feedback, and I really like those speakers. It was a great improvement. Now I'm gonna play the two videos where I tested the old speakers again with the audio sample and the new ones. I don't know how much the sound is gonna transfer over into the video, and of course I cannot have it at the maximum, so whenever I'm editing the video I have to lower down the sound because it's gonna be too loud for you guys. Do trust me, they sound way better. I don't have to crank up the sound too high in order to feel the volume of the sound, how it fills up the car. It's much better. The sound quality is much clearer and more deeper. Now of course this is a very basic upgrade, just the speakers. I don't have an amplifier, I don't have a subwoofer or anything like that. So if you were to add that, that'd be a next step over, of course. But for me, for my use, this is more than enough. I'm very happy. So anyways, let me jump into the car and let's check the sound quality. Now it's 15. Alright guys, so now let's test it out. Gonna play the same song first at 10, at volume 10, 15 and 20. I already can feel the difference. I don't know how it's gonna be transferred to the video, but now we're at 10, now at 15. Wow, what a difference. And now let's try 20. Wow. Nice. Alright guys, so what do you think? Which sounded better? Do you feel any difference? I think it sounds better. I think it sounds way better. But I also would like to find out what kind of speakers you guys running, what kind of system you guys using. Please let me know. Maybe in the future I can do something. Maybe I can add some kind of subwoofer underneath the passenger seat, maybe, or somewhere. Because the space is limited, it's probably gonna have to go underneath the passenger seat. Of course, I'm gonna have to run probably new wires. Now, it would be nice if I can get some kind of smaller amplifier, and I can put it just behind the stereo unit. Just pull it out and pull it behind there. That way, the wires can go from the radio, from the music into amplifier, and then using existing cables going into the speaker, so I don't have to run brand new wiring. Maybe that's an option. What you guys think? Let me know. I mean, as of right now, the sound is already way better. Maybe I can use a subwoofer or something, but I mean, it's not necessary. I'm not trying to build a system where you see some videos where the whole windows are shaking and everything like that. So anyways guys, this was my upgrade of the sound system, of the speakers, and my use of it so far. It's almost a year that I had it. Not quite a year, but almost. I had it for almost 10 months already, so I really enjoyed it. And I feel it was still under a budget. It was not extremely too expensive, because the speakers, they can get very expensive. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful, and as always, until next time, everybody, bye.